So again, my name is Aaron Meyers, President and CEO of Hammer & Nails. I have with me here Heather Story. She's Director of Training. Say hi. Hey guys, and so we're happy that you guys are on the call today. We're going to cover with you basically our marketing program overview today. Please don't hesitate to chime in and ask questions throughout the process or the slides that we go through. We want it to be interactive, so questions are good. We've got 15 slides total to show you, and we're already on number 2, so it's not, we tried to keep it relatively high level, so there will be time for questions and answers, and then at the very end we have Q&A as well. So I'm going to hand over to Heather for the first part, and she's going to walk you through the kind of the pre-opening sales process that we go through here at Hammer & Nails to ensure that our shops open successfully and profitably.
All right, team. So let's talk about pre-opening. We go through a process of pre-sales, and the whole goal behind doing pre-sales and pre-opening marketing is to try to get your locations open with 200 members at minimum during opening. The reason that we're spending all of our time, energy, and effort as well as money up front on pre-sales is because pre-sales will help you to expedite the time that it takes to become profitable. We've actually dealt with different businesses that have pre-sales concepts, and when you're able to execute pre-sales properly, sometimes you can even diminish the time to break even and open up with a cash flow positive on day one of business. Some key things to note here are that you really want to hire the right team for pre-sales. You need to train and execute your team properly, and then go ahead and use those tools to grow, which is our benchmark for the 200 plus on grand opening memberships.
I'll just add that on this piece that this is a really interestingly neat time when you've just started to get your shop open, and you can really take advantage of this moment in time because you really want to take advantage of when you don't have customers. It's kind of a unique moment, and you're just starting to build out your shop, and we find that people, if they focus on this and really pour themselves into this, our franchisees, you're going to see good results and good returns. Heather mentioned that we've come from other brands that do pre-sales. I think it's worth mentioning that Heather's been with multiple fitness brands where we've seen results where some of these brands are opening with 800 and 1,000 members on day one. So we're not being nearly as aggressive as that. We think that we're in a different place than some of those brands. Like I'm referring to like Orange Theory, we're saying that even if we can start off with 200 plus members, you can see a nice lift in terms of getting franchisees to profitability quicker.
Nice. All right. So the next slide is basically a sample marketing schedule. So we put this together. It is basically a 4-month snapshot to show you what month 1 would look like, month 2, month 3, and month 4. We threw in some key numbers for budget, what the messaging would be. So for month 1, it would be coming soon and a 2 free week offer for pre-sales, right? The offer itself is becoming a founding member, which is a 32.5% savings, plus the founding members get 2 free weeks of services to try Hammer & Nails, and it's basically risk-free because we're giving people the opportunity to try before you buy, which means they're signing on as a member as though they're going to pay, but we don't charge until our grand opening date. So if somebody were to come in and try the services and absolutely found that Hammer & Nails was not the right fit, they would basically be able to opt out of becoming a founding member, which really takes all of the risk away. So when you look at this type of offer for somebody, there is zero barrier to entry because all they're really doing is reserving the right to become a member and doing it at a reduced cost for the length of their membership. In my opinion, it is a no-lose situation for the client, and if I were the client personally, it's kind of a no-brainer to sign up early to become a founding member versus waiting till the shop is open. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
So that would be the offer. We're looking at down below the offer the different types of activities that we would be doing to penetrate the market, get our branding out there, drive awareness, and drive people to become founding members. So under that first tab, we've got guerrilla marketing activity where we're going out into the community, participating in different events, using shop signage, flyers, tear-off passes, referral sheets, Post-it notes. We've also got direct mail where we're doing a 5,000-piece mailer. We're not running any print advertising in this particular example during the first month, but we do have website, digital, and social media presence going on. We've got emails going out, and then we've got listed social media for Social PhD, one of our preferred vendors. You can see as we progress through the 90 days of pre-sales, we're continuing to promote that 2 free week messaging to drive people to engage with the brand and want to become members. Again, we're using the different types of print available along with social media, direct mail, and guerrilla marketing. The reason that we've got so many different types of marketing available during this period is because it's kind of like the layers of an onion. When you're new to market and you don't have brand awareness, you really have to do different mediums to penetrate that market. And so as you can see, we've got that planned out during that 3 months, and then you've got your grand opening in month 4. Your messaging is going to change from that 2 free weeks to maybe a buy one, get one offer, right? And you're using similar types of marketing to continue to drive awareness and penetrate your market post-opening. Okay?
Any questions on that slide?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, so let's look at the timing of pre-sales. So really, when you're going forward to start your pre-sales initiative, you're going to be starting far sooner than that 90-day period. Ideally, you want to look at 120 days before opening where you're hiring and starting to train your sales team. You're putting together your local shop marketing plan, similar to what we just showed you in that sample slide, so that your team is getting ready to go out and execute when you hit that 90-day mark, okay? 90 days prior to opening, ideally, is when you're going to start your pre-sales activity, and that should align with the start of your construction period, okay? From there, you're actually out in the market doing your branding, meeting with clients, selling memberships, doing all of those things that we saw on the last slide. And 2 weeks before your grand opening is when you're giving that 2 free weeks away, okay? At the end of that 2 free week trial period is when you have your VIP party, which is a big celebration for all of your founding members. It's also your last-ditch effort to sign people on as founding members before your grand opening day, right? And then the next day is when you charge all of those memberships and drive that sales revenue into your shop. This is not a traditional approach, right? But our goal is to build your business before you open your doors, okay?
We found that in business, when you do this, it removes actually a lot of stress in some ways. Franchisees, as they're building businesses and they're investing into the shop, or there's this like, oh my gosh, I can't get to opening, this gives those franchisees something to focus on, and you're going to spend that money anyways, so why not move that spend up front and come out the doors aggressive and strong as opposed to waiting till your shop's open?
Absolutely, and I can testify to that personally. I've opened businesses on a traditional business model with traditional marketing post-open, and I've also done the pre-sales model as well as a franchisee. And I can tell you from a financial standpoint, there's a lot less stress. Yes, you're spending the money up front, but you also have the opportunity to gauge how many members you're going to have at opening and what your revenue coming in is going to be versus trying to build all of that post-opening. So in my opinion, I would take a pre-sales model hands down over a traditional model any day. So we've got all kinds of different tactics that we use for community engagement. What you're seeing on the screen are different events that we've participated in with our Hammer and Nail shop in Folsom. We've done car events, we've done golf tournaments, we've done grand open ribbon cutting events, VIP events. We've done all kinds of different tactics. So this is kind of a pictorial of the different things that we've done.
Yeah, the one that's in the middle there, Coffee and Cars, is an example that for a new shop that was in pre-sale phase, you show up in the morning, you're there for 2 hours. In a typical 2-hour event for us, we'll book 15, 20 appointments. Mm-hmm. Out of that event, people are spinning that prize wheel at the event, and those are all, leads. Now, because the shop won't be open when you're doing these kind of events, you're really just building kind of that brand engagement and that knowledge before you open, and you're really just trying to help drive that membership base at all of these events.
Right. All right, on the next slide, we basically have created marketing in a box for you. We have a partner vendor, Clayton Kendall, that we work with, where we've created all of the different types of marketing collateral that you would need out in the field to go out and successfully host one of these events and make it worth your time and investment. When we're in pre-sales, the name of the game is really to drive leads and take those leads from lead status to appointments to meet you down at your pre-sale space and then convert those into memberships. So all of the collateral that we've designed is not only eye-catching, but it's designed to collect that lead and start that process to transition those leads into actual membership sales. And all of this collateral is online and available for you. All of the service offerings and all of the different advertisements themselves and the setup are all done and ready to go. So it's basically a plug and play for your shop. Okay, so taking a look at some of the different guerrilla marketing collateral that we've got. On the left, we've got what we call Take One passes. Those are basically like flyers that you would set out or hand out or maybe flyer cars with. We have fish bowls where it's an enter to win where people drop in their business cards. Those can be strategically placed with power partners out in the business community to promote people to drop their business cards in so that you're collecting the lead. We've got tear-off passes, which are more nose-to-nose and toes-to-toes marketing, where you're out engaging with people and actively collecting names, phone numbers, and email addresses. Post-it notes where you can go out and flyer cars. We've got all kinds of different types of collateral for you in that Clayton Kendall website. This is an example of some of our print ads, our direct mail, and advertisements that you might see on Facebook. Again, they're really eye-catching and have really great messaging. And again, those are assets that are available for you to take and plug those in and use them for your own shop.
So Heather's talked a bit about the guerrilla marketing and some of those pieces. I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the digital side of the grand opening process and the pre-sale process. Again, we mentioned we partner with a company called Social PhD. They've been around for quite a few years helping shops open in other business spaces and do pre-sales, so they've brought a lot of expertise to this space. And really what they help you do is run a social campaign on Facebook that drives people to a landing page. And it's different for a few reasons, and I'll kind of cover that with you. But the biggest difference for me is that people see this commercial that runs on Facebook, they click on it, it takes them to a landing page where they fill out and give you their name, their phone number, and your email. That is then emailed to your shop, and every day you wake up and you have 10, 15, sometimes it's 8, but every day you're getting leads of people who want to talk to you and come in and become members of your shop. So it's a super effective way, and it's cost effective, and it's proven to be the best way that we've found to drive people into the door. It outperforms pay-per-click. It outperforms SEO. It really has been a great campaign. One of the things that they do, I mentioned, is they make a video. It's super effective at getting eyeballs on it in your Facebook feed. You're able to select specific demographics that you want to watch it, and then at the end it puts up your 2 free weeks, or your get one free, or your 50% off, whatever it is you're pushing, and then people click on that in order to give you their name and information, or to call the shop. So the other thing that is important when we're doing these ads and this type of campaign is that we have a significant amount of insight and analytics to how they're performing, which is why I can sit here confidently on the phone with you and say, I have real data and real results where I can point to and show you by day how these things are performing and how many people we're able to call and how many people we're able to get to come into the shop and how that's turning into real new customers and new members. You can see here in that little box that I've kind of zoomed in on there that has the green, I guess, purple and blue. And really that's showing you the engagement by day and how many clicks that you're getting on that ad. And so each one of those dots is a click, is a day. And you'll see there that on that one day that we clicked just recently, we had 131 people click on the ad that day. And that's not an uncommon amount of people that are coming to that landing page. You can actually see, I like to show, we actually turned off the campaign for one of our shops that this is for, and you can see when we turned it off, the interactivity there about a quarter of the way into the chart just fell off the map, and as soon as we turned back on a different offer, it went right back to driving similar or actually improved click-through rates. You can also see our page likes went through the roof, our total page likes went up, so we're getting a lot of engagement from these types of offers, and the analytics page comes with. Social PhD provides this to every franchisee to have this type of insight to how your marketing is performing. On this page, we also do a lot of A/B testing, so we've done a lot of the homework for you. We've tried different offers and they didn't work, and we've tried offers and they do work. So we're kind of saving the franchisees the pain of having to figure that out, and we can say, this offer outperforms this offer, this is why you should offer this, because we have the data to back it up. Here's a simple example of that where we did an A/B test where we did one free service. At the end of that video, it said one free service. You click on it, and it took you to a page, and you filled it out, and you got one free service. We actually thought that that would outperform the 50% off. You would think that if you gave away something for free, you would see better results than charging more for it. Well, the data didn't support that. So in our testing, it brought the 50% off campaign actually brought in a much younger demographic. The age group dropped lower, and what we found is the younger demographic, that 25 to 35, when they see a free offer, they don't believe it. They think there's a catch, and they just completely don't respond. But when they see 50% off and the video looks cool, they click on it and they want to come in. We also found that people that were willing to pay a little bit but get a good deal converted to the membership at a higher rate. They bought more services as well, so they're like, wait a minute, so I can get a haircut, a shave, and a pedicure, then I want to do all three, which is exactly what we wanted. So I'm going to pause there, and just any questions on our digital approach and on the campaign or the guerrilla marketing that we've covered to this point?
Not so far. So far, so good.
Okay, good. Anyone else? I know there's quite a few people on the phone. Sounds like no? Okay.
It looks very good. Thank you.
All right. So then, obviously, post-opening, marketing doesn't stop. We don't stop running campaigns. We don't stop utilizing these different techniques. We definitely want people to continue to do these types of community engagement events or run campaigns maybe monthly or every month via social PhD. The goal is to get you to add 300 plus more members so that you're ending that first year at 500 or 600 members, which puts you well on your way to running a very profitable business. So we're really looking to try and help continue to convert people. And then you start to shift a little bit into minimizing attrition because your members will leave over time for whatever reason. They aren't getting the haircuts. And you start to focus a little bit more on utilization. And because it's what we know about this business is that utilization is what keeps people from leaving the business. And so people that have paid for 2 haircuts and haven't come in, they're going to drop off eventually. So your energy starts to turn to making sure that your members are coming in and getting their services. And we've built within our own POS as well tools that help you text and email those customers, and it's all automated, and it can tell them, hey, you haven't been in 30 days. It's really important that you get in. The last time you came in, it's been this long. So it kind of helps you message those members and get them in. And then we're at Q&A. So now you're forced to ask me questions.
All the content.
Is there anything we didn't cover? Anything you guys were like, you know what, we wanted to see this?
We need more detail.
We need more detail. We actually have case studies. We mentioned our partner, Social PhD. It won't be from our brand because we're so new and doing in as a company, but we have multiple case studies we can show you about pre-sales that talk about different businesses that opened and how many members they've added and how many they've added before and after. We've done several analyses on that data, and we've I spent quite a few years at Massage Envy as president or VP of operations at Massage Envy, and so I have a lot of understanding from that brand as well about how pre-sales and not doing pre-sales impact openings. And without question, I'll just say that it's very clear that this is the right way to open a business, and it really does help franchisees obtain the success that they're shooting for.
So have you had a store that you've done this guerrilla marketing with that you've been able to get some data from?
The phone cut out at the very beginning, so I think you said, have we been able to run all of this? Have we been able to perform this at a shop yet?
Yeah, for a new, because I know that most of your stores have, just recently opened, except maybe the Folsom store and the Santa Monica store.
Right, exactly. So those shops did not utilize this approach. Heather and I joined after they had already gotten too far into the process. We do have new shops that are going through. I think that, who would you say are the shops that are furthest down the path with this approach? Portland and Keenan?
Yeah, we have Portland and Laguna Niguel. However, in the opening timeline for them, they are not able to execute a full 12 weeks of pre-sales. It'll end up being somewhere between 8 and 6 weeks of pre-sales by the time everything is in order and executed prior to their grand opening. The first location that will really be able to utilize this in full is probably going to be the Brooklyn location or one of our other locations that's going to open at a later date, maybe even into next year.
November, December.
Yeah. But I can tell you from personal experience in the fitness industry, I had a similar situation where I was brought on board later in the development of the franchise to start training and executing pre-sales in the fitness space. And I was able to run and execute pre-sales on 6 to 8 week to even 10-week timelines where we were still able to hit that 200-member mark without a 12-week timeline. Really what it boils down to is having the proper budget and the proper team and the proper person running that pre-sales initiative to drive the membership conversion, more so than having a full 12-week timeline. It really is about execution and having somebody that's experienced in driving and managing sales teams and sales initiatives.
Were you the one who came up with the idea with the orange bicycles for Orange Theory?
I did not come up with the idea, but yes, I did execute it in the Sacramento market.
You just made her have a big old smile on her face. So I think that she and I have talked about that initiative. We've talked about how we could guerrilla our way into markets with our brand. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Orange Theory is kind of known for parking orange bikes.
Yeah, we call it the Orange Bike Campaign.
Right,
actually.
all over the city, and you know, as a franchisee, you're buying a bunch of old bikes and spray painting them orange, and then people start talking about it in this kind of approach. And we've looked for ways that hammer and nails might be able to do that. We've talked about a giant hammer or putting barbering chairs.
So here's my brilliant idea. I just need the franchisee to execute it. So instead of orange bikes, you take an old beat-up truck, wrap it with hammer and nails, and put a barber chair in the back of the truck and have that truck parked in various areas where it's highly visible and move it around from location to location. You could even drive that truck out to an event and have barbers do cuts and shaves from the back of the pickup. And I think that would be a huge brand differentiator for us and highly recognizable like that Orange Bike campaign.
Yeah, because
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I work in Poway, and so I remember the orange bikes everywhere. And it's like, when the heck are these orange bikes? What are these things?
Right.
And I work in marketing. That's what I do. And I'm like, what the heck is this? This is just too much anticipation. So I was wondering if you had something like that. I love that idea. I think that's an amazing idea.
Thank you. I just need you to execute it. So sign your franchise agreement and execute it for me so that I can show that it works, okay?
We're actually having dinner tomorrow night so we can get all this together. So we're ready to move. We just need to kind of know financing and all of those things.
All right.
That sounds good.
Sounds like we're good. Guys, it was really nice talking to you and getting to meet you on the phone. I hope to meet you in person.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And as you guys have questions, if you have any questions about sales or pre-sales or marketing tactics, don't hesitate to give me a call personally. Sean can forward you my contact phone number. I'd be happy to talk offline and help you guys to walk through and create some type of concept of your marketing plan as you go forward.
Love it. Thank you. I can just tell you from a kudos standpoint that even with my current franchise, we still, after 20 years, don't have this marketing in a box that flawlessly done. So well done, guys. Well done.
And
Thank you.
Great to hear.
I work in senior living, and we try and pre-open buildings like that, and this is a little bit better than that. So good job, guys.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you.
That.
All right. Thanks, guys. It was good meeting you. Take care.